Welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing. Today we're going to have a lot of fun. We're doing a 6-gallon Wyeast beer, or should we say, not quite a Hefeweizen, but a wheat ale. And we're going to have a lot of fun with it. Don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing. Definitely appreciate the sharing. It's been huge. Essentially, we're going to do a 6-gallon batch, and we're going to split it into 2 3-gallon fermentations. And I'll put the yeasts up here that we're going to use. One is, of course, Omega 400 Bananza Ale, which is a ripe banana esters with hints of pear. The other one is going to be our Omega 401 Sundew ripe strawberry, passion fruit, pear, and stone fruit. And I know some people have asked me, what's exactly does stone fruit taste like? Stone fruit is a general term for things like peaches, apricots, anything with a large seed in the middle basically is a stone fruit. So it's kind of vague, but it's saying you kind of getting some of those orchard type flavors, I guess, maybe, I don't know. You also got technically cherry falls in there. I mean, there's quite a few fruits that can fall into stone fruit. So it's kind of a catch-all, should we say. Very simple recipe. I did modify it so it's not a true Wyeast beer or wheat beer or some of the things that I put in here that some people may go, well, that's not normally in there. Hey, I brew what I want to drink and that's the way it's going to be. But what we're shooting for is a strawberry and a banana. And then when those two are done fermenting, carbonating, everything, then we can put some of it together and see what it tastes like as a strawberry banana beer. Yeah, probably saw that coming. We've got 4 pounds of Pilsner, 4 pounds of wheat malt. We've got a pound of flaked wheat. And if you've watched a lot of the videos where I've done fruit, I'm always using either flaked or some wheat. Anytime I add any type of fruit or fruit flavor, or even if it's from the yeast, because I want it to sit and linger on your mouth, or on your tongue, should we say. So you get that mouthfeel, and you get to taste the nuances and the flavors and smell the esters a little bit more because it just kind of hangs out. We also are adding 8 ounces of a Viking Pale cookie malt, and I've been dying to use it. I know it doesn't really fit, but hey, I figure it might give a hint of sweet, a little bit of biscuit, which is what it's described as. 4.5 ounces of Victory malt. It's kind of my catch-all for when I want biscuit and maybe a hint of caramel. Victory malt seems to work beautifully for me on that. The other thing that most people do with wheat beers, from everything I've read from master brewers, I say as far as everybody, I'm referring to brewers who are brewing professionally, is they all seem to recommend putting a little bit of acid. They don't recommend so much on the malt, acid malt, but some do, and that's what I'm doing. I'm sticking to 4 ounces of acid malt. That'll help bring our pH down a little bit. We're doing 1 ounce of Hallertau at 90 minutes. We're going to do a 90-minute boil, and once we get it chilled down, we'll turn around and pitch those 2 yeasts. The other thing I'm doing that's going to be a little different is I stopped doing step mashes for a long time because I had some problems with some off flavors, and I've been doing a lot of research, a lot of studying, watching videos of professional brewers that are kind of like training videos basically. And 128 degrees Fahrenheit might be my issue, and a lot of them said, yeah, we like to hit that, but we very quick, just hit it, move on. So this is going to seem excessive, but I'm just testing it. It's how you learn, testing things, trying things. Eventually I'll have a second Anvil and we can do some tests with and without and see how they come out. But we're gonna do 45 degrees Celsius or 112 Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. That is a great temperature if you want a lot of clove and you kind of linger there for about 30 minutes. We're just gonna hang out there for a short bit and move on, break down some of the glucons, whatever you want to say, gunk. 128 degrees Fahrenheit, 53 Celsius, that's the danger temp that I'm hitting for 5 minutes, moving on. 63 Celsius, 145 Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. That's our actual mash, like typical mash. Then we're moving up to 68 degrees Celsius at 154 Fahrenheit for 10 minutes before sparging out at 76 Celsius, 168 Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. Typically with a 5-gallon batch and this amount of grains, which I think I'm sitting close to about 10 pounds here, yeah, right at 10 pounds and a half an ounce, we would have 7.3 gallons total for the Anvil, 6.3 plus a gallon of sparge. We're gonna bump that up. It's gonna be 7.3 for the mash and 8.3 total, which is a gallon for the sparge. Reason being is we need 6 gallons instead of 5 gallons out of this. That's why we're kicking it up a bit. And for, like I said, the Omega, we'll make sure we put one up here, that way you can see what they look like. But let me get the grains crushed and let's get mashing. Oh, I forgot we have one issue here. Downtown, they seem to have a huge fly problem. It's nasty. So I'm gonna use a brew in a bag. And with this brew in a bag, I'm not gonna brew in a bag. I'm gonna put it over the top. That way I don't eat flies, don't drink flies. I don't want flies in my beer. It'll keep the flies out of the beer. Got to do what you got to do to get the brew on. So hey, let's get the brew on.
Okay, it might get a little noisy. We're downtown. This is my new brewing environment for a year, plus or minus, until the new house is built. So we're at 112 Fahrenheit. We're only gonna be here, like I said, I think it's 15 minutes. I'll double check the little cheat sheet in my pocket. Got the brewing salts, which are already liquefying from all the humidity. At least at 112 Fahrenheit, I'm not gonna burn my hand. I do a lot of adapting. I'm hooked up to where the dryer goes, but I have the small batch adapter in here. Drop that bad boy on there. We look good. Temperature didn't jump. I brought it down to 75% because it's sitting at 114 actual. There it goes, it's starting to go down. And I'm gonna put a lot of rice hulls in here because we literally have 4 pounds of wheat and a pound of flaked wheat. So we're like pushing the envelope on the wheat here. So I don't wanna risk stuck anything. I've never had one with the Anvil and I don't need to start. Go ahead and, because you wanna blend this in, we're just gonna go ahead and dump a bunch in because it floats and hopefully it'll kind of stick with the grains. There we go. And let's mash in. I will work on getting an overhead camera, but right now I do not have one. So we'll speed this part up. And I know some of you all out there said, hey, I never used rice hulls. Well, just think of it as cheap insurance if you're doing a lot of wheat, rye, things like that that could really get gummy. One of the reasons for the rest we're doing is hopefully we can break down some of that gumminess. I'm gonna go ahead, put the lid on, get the pump on, and get the recirculation going. See, 75%, we didn't even drop temperature. That's why I'm saying strike temps are not really applicable to these all-in-ones. I am gonna kick the power down a little more just so I don't spike over too much. Go down to 65 and see if it can hold. If it does, maybe we'll even drop it more. Okay, there we go. A nice little flow there. It looks kind of lopsided, so I might bring it around here. Yeah, it looks like this whole thing, this whole deck leans. The things you have to learn when moving to a different location. There we go. So we're all good. We got 15 minutes and then we're gonna spike it up a bit and we'll go from there. Okay, we've been sitting at a constant 113, 112 is what it's set to. I didn't lower it, I didn't really have time. We're gonna bump it up to 128 Fahrenheit for 5 minutes. And I'm kicking the power up to 100% just because I don't want to take too long to get there. We are on 220, like I said, I had all kinds of, I've got like probably 25 feet worth of 220 extension. And wow, that stuff's expensive, very expensive. And then I have an adapter in between to get me to where I need to be and another adapter, but it's all good. We're grounded, we're good, or at least we're safe. I bought stuff and I didn't try to make it myself. Minus my original plug I did make myself. Okay, should be going up here in temp very quickly. We'll move, like I said, for 5 minutes. I'm gonna increase that flow just a tiny bit. There we go. Bring it back down a tiny bit. 5 minutes and we'll move on. Okay, we're sitting at 129. Like I said, we're only here about 5 minutes. It's going on 6. I'm boosting it up to, whoa, went to Celsius. Don't want to do that. There we go. We'll go up to 145. And I have the power sitting at 55, but we're going to kick that up to 100% temporarily, just so we can get it up fast. There we go, 145. Once we hit this, we'll sit there for about 30 minutes. Should take about 8 minutes at 220, maybe a little longer. And like I said, we'll hang out for 30 minutes, then we'll move to 145 or 154 for 10 minutes and 168 for 10 minutes as we sparge out. And I'll get heating up the sparge water as soon as we leave this step mash. Okay, we got there in about 3 minutes. It's crazy. And I already dropped it to 50%, so it'll slow it down and hopefully it'll stay at 145. So we're already a degree over. Okay, like I said, I'm downtown. Sorry about the noise. We're going to 154 for 10 minutes. And we're at 50%, but I'm gonna go to 100% so we get there quick and then I'll drop it back down to 50. Okay, there we go. We'll heat up, get there for 10 minutes, hang out, move to 168, hang out for 10 minutes and sparge out. I'm gonna start getting the sparge water heated up. Okay, I got the water heating up. We're gonna kick up to 168 for 10 minutes and rock on. Okay, we're gonna mash out. I had a temperature problem, so we sat around 150 for a while. It went all the way up to about 161 and then it just started dropping and dropping fast. I shut everything down. I hit the reset switch. It's the first time I've ever had to do that and it's working. Kind of scary. So I'm gonna do a 1 year in review, and I was worried it broke. Might be the wheat. So once we do the mash out, sparge, whole 9 yards, I'm gonna rub that bottom hard and make sure there's no wheat scorching on the bottom. Haven't had to put the bag on here. I was afraid of the flies, but haven't had the fly issue yet. Okay, we're just gonna let it drip. I'm not gonna crank it up. I'm afraid there's some weed or something on the bottom. Then we'll rub it with the nice trusty brew paddle. Make sure it's good, and then we'll crank it up to a boil, and we'll be all rocking and rolling. We're gonna let that drip for a little while. Okay, it's still dripping a little, but not much. We're gonna go ahead. I rubbed the bottom. I really didn't feel anything. I mean, could have been a little bit of wheat stuck down there, but I definitely have a lot of particulates floating around in there. Not that unusual, but a little more than usual. Here we go. We're on a boil 100%. We're at 168. Once we get up to 212, I'm gonna drop the hops in there. It's a 90-minute Holotor hops, 3.8% alpha acid, and we'll rock on. Okay, we got the foam on the rise. And as you know, I just drop a drip of this in there and I don't worry about it. Oh, 2 drips. 5-star Defoamer, kicks butt. Okay, and our foam's still rising. Stir it in. Rub our bottom. Yeah, rub our bottom. Take that out of context. Okay, I do feel a little bit, something sticking down there. I think I got it. More on the outer edge than in the center. There we go. Now we got a nice break going. Okay, I think we're good. I'm gonna add the hops. Okay, here we go. We'll start a 90-minute countdown. Got our hops here, 1 ounce of Holotor, 3.8 ounce from my local homebrew shop. Much easier. And let's see if we can get the ring out of here. I'll burn myself on it later. Okay, we're good. We'll let that go for 90 minutes. Okay, we're down to the last 5 minutes. Decided instead of dropping half a Warflock tablet, I'm gonna drop the whole thing in. It was breaking up on me and I just got mad, so let's see how it goes. I doubt it's gonna be an issue. I think it's gonna help if anything. Woo, yeah. Excuse the tears and sniffles, I keep sneezing. Don't know why, but I am. Drop about I think it's supposed to be half a teaspoon. Let's go about a teaspoon, I'm not too worried. It's probably about 3/4 of a teaspoon, but hey, it's all good. Didn't need to put the net over here for some reason. The weird flies are down below. They don't seem to care about this. I had one come up, that was it. Now, because of the move, and I haven't had a chance to star sand my chiller or clean it with any PBW or anything else since the original cleaning. It's been sitting around. I'm gonna drop it into the boiling wort now. It's gonna drop temp a little bit because the metal's cold. For about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna kick the water on, which is downstairs. So of course I gotta go downstairs and get the water turned on, which isn't even downstairs. It's downstairs and in the garage. We're still sitting at 212. Like I said, we got about 5 minutes, so I'm gonna let it go. Okay, it's sitting at 212 boil. I'm gonna kill the temp. I'm gonna run downstairs, get the water running. Feel that sun hitting the back of my neck. It's definitely hot. And I got lots of clouds coming, so we may have a storm here soon. There you go. It's coming. We gotta hurry up, clean up, and call it a day. Almost forgot to get our agitation going. We're already at 120 though. Agitation's just gonna bring it down even faster. Okay, we're done. We got 6 gallons, 3 gallons here, 3 gallons here. We have our Anvil, our Jaded Scylla. We had a 79.7% brewhouse efficiency, which is awesome, almost 80%. Original gravity of 1.049. Estimated final gravity, 1.007, which actually instead of 5.4, which is what I was shooting for, will put us at 5.5, assuming they both finish at a final gravity of 1.007, which is kind of low. So there's a chance they may or may not, based on the yeast I'm using. I had to use Hefeweizen as a default yeast, 300, whatever number it is, from White Labs, just because 400 from Omega and 401 from Omega were not in my beersmith. So, and that's what I was using at the time. So we're gonna go ahead, pitch the yeast. See if I can't find my big magnets, or my little magnets. So hopefully my little magnet will hold this stupid little stir bar. And you've watched this rodeo before. I'm gonna use less than half of that, or right at half, just because. Okay, almost smells like 001 White Labs, like California, with a hint of banana. Okay, here we go. Should be more than enough. I'm pitching enough for a 5 or 6 gallon batch, so that should be great. And I went with banana on that one for one major reason. My yellow tilt hydrometer is in this one. So yellow banana works great. Sadly, this one over here is purple. I didn't think about putting the red one in there at the time. That would have made more sense, but hey, it's all good. I will say I learned when brewing in a 3-story house or condo, whatever you want to call it, it sucks. You got to do a lot of stairs. I probably went up those stairs. There's about 20 steps for every floor. Probably did 800 steps today, easy. And that's actual steps, not the whole step program thing. I do like 10,000 of those whenever I run that. Okay, and there's the strawberry, which I didn't get a... Okay, I can kind of smell the strawberry. I smell a lot more of the banana on the 400 instead of the 401. And that's it. I'm gonna take these, put the little bubblers on there, put them in the fermenter. The temperature, I'm gonna start off at 68. I'm gonna see if I can get them up around 74, 75. One of these goes to 78, one goes to 75. I wanna keep them right around whatever the highest is for both, because I can't go over that. My fermentor is going to maintain them at the same temperature. I can move one a little closer to the heater, so maybe it'll get about a degree or two hotter, but that's about it. Thank you again for joining us here at Bitter Reality Brewing. Remember, I'll put links to any and everything that was used in the brewing process. Don't forget to like, subscribe, keep sharing, definitely appreciate it. And keep tuned, we'll do a couple more videos, at least one more, if not 2 more, to do the final, and then maybe I'm debating on a 3rd video for the blending. Otherwise, I'll throw it in at the end. We'll see. Thank you again.